this is Katja with Creators Image Studio. I've created a birthday card for a guy and it has a magnetic closure and you can open it with the ribbon pull. Whoops, open it. And it's sort of a gatefold card, and the paper that I used is Graphic 45's A Proper Gentleman. Now here's a sort of an old vintage newspaper article, same here. It says the internal question, who's your tailor? And here it says, send only 25 cents for my double strength crusher grip. And this says here the New York Stock Exchange. So this is all in the paper. Let's remove this tag. I will show you that in a minute. And here we have the New York Stock Exchange, sort of a blueprint. Now you can close this card, and the first half of the doorlets here says A Proper Vintage Gentleman, and then you can close it again with the magnet, and it has a vintage car, and on the back it has sort of a stamp like motif here. And the reason that I chose the measurements that I have, which is about 13 by 13 centimeters, and I'll put the inches below, is that I did not want to create my own envelope. And so I bought the envelope first and then I took my measurements after it so that it would fit. And I also have a little tutorial for you as to how to create the construction of this card, especially this magnetic closure and the ribbon pull, and also how I did the pocket here, which is sort of a slit pocket that a tag will fit into, like so. And let me show you the tag first, and then we'll move on to the tutorial. Here is a tag that has a belly band, sort of, because it's hidden on the other side. See? So I backed it up with some black cardstock. I cut out one of the stamps and put it onto the belly band, and then I created a tag that says happy birthday, and on the other side I wrote down a personal message. So that goes right here, and this has several layers, so it's 1, 2, 3 layers of paper, a belly band, and then a tag, like so, and that will go right here. All right, now on to the tutorial. So you take a piece of cardstock, and this one is from an A4 piece of paper, so it measures 29.7 centimeters, and I cut it to 13.1, so cut about 10 centimeters off of it, and then I scored at 10 centimeters here on the right, and I scored at, let me see, 6.5 centimeters on the left. Now after scoring you can fold the card, because this is sort of a gatefold design, and the way I want to close this card is by putting a piece of cardstock, which I will decorate of course, here, and have a magnet closure, and that's what I want to show you, and then have a ribbon pull to pull it open. So let's start with the closure here. The magnets I use are by Basic Gray. These are very strong magnets, and for this card I'm using the smaller ones. So we're going to take 2 out of the package here. Now be sure you take one of the plus magnets and one of the minus. Okay, now to do a precise positioning, I will have to first glue this down to the actual card here. And of course, before I can glue this down, I will have to mat this piece here, so that I can put this on top. So that is what I'm going to do the very first. Now, this is the piece, I cut it to size already, and I inked around the edges with Black Soot. So let's glue it down. So now we attached this flap here, and of course I will decorate this later. Now I can position my magnet here. I'll just pick a random one. This is the plus one. Now Basic Ray has put a layer of self-adhesive tape here, but I find that this is not strong enough to my taste, because this card will have to close and open and I can't have it move. So what I usually do is remove this layer of adhesive and then put my own. Now I'm using this jewelry glue, so this is for metal things. I've seen people use a glue dot on these, so if you have those, they're probably strong enough as well. So I'm using jewelry glue, and this will need to dry for a bit. Like so. I'm just eyeballing the whole thing. Now be sure to leave some room here, because you will have to make the ribbon pull as well, so leave some space. Now before I'm attaching the other magnet on the opposite side, I'm going to have this dry so as not to have it tear off. Meanwhile, we can create the ribbon pull. I've already prepped a piece of ribbon, and I chose blue because there is some blue in this piece of decorative paper that I'm going to use. So match your ribbon is my point. And you will cut a piece that will leave you, when you fold it like this, that will leave you like a pull, right? So you can eyeball this, and I'm using score tape here and here. Why on these opposite sides? Because we're gonna glue this one down like so, and then close it like so. Now first I'm going to take measurements, because I think this will be a bit too long for the room that I've left here. So let's check that. And yes, it's way too long. So I will have to cut a piece off. Now I will take some measurements here. This is about 1.5 centimeter, the room here, which is approximately at my nail right there. Okay, now let's glue it down and burnish it with your bone folder or a burnishing tool. So now we can see there's a ribbon pull here. And of course we will cover this with decorative paper. Now meanwhile we can prepare another piece. This is a piece of decorative paper, and I will put that here. But first I will have to prepare this, because this will become sort of an interactive element, sort of a special kind of pocket, and I will have to make a cut first before I glue this down. And what I mean is I am going to cut alongside the pattern here and make sort of a, well, not a slit pocket, but I think you get my drift. So let's do that first, and I do this regularly. Just choose a piece of the pattern of the paper, make use of it, and cut a pocket from it. Now I'm in luck because this piece has some rather straight lines, although this is a bit crooked. But that adds to the charm, I think, so I will follow this line here and then here. Okay, it's time to take some distress ink. I'm using Black Soot. Now careful here, because this is a very narrow piece, so be gentle. So just to show you what we just created, we have put the decorative paper down, and then we have a pocket. Look, it will fit a tag, you see? That is what we just did. Now I'm thinking this will be about dry by now. So first I'm going to cover it with a piece of decorative paper. Okay, now for the placement of the other magnet. Now, the way to do this precisely and accurately is to put the magnet down onto the other and then stick it down. But first I will pull the adhesive layer from this magnet because I will use this glue again. And second, I will put some extra paper here because the magnets are very strong, you know, there's a strong pull and it's difficult to get them apart again, especially when the glue is not dry yet. You will lose one or both of your magnets. Okay, so let's first remove this layer. There it is, see how strong this is. Now to help it dry correctly, I will put something heavy on top and let's get back to you when it's dry. Okay, it will be about dry by now. So there we have it, a perfectly placed magnet. Now we will cover it up with some decorative paper. Now be sure to ink around the edges first and then glue it down. See, so now it's closed and we can open it using the pull. Okay, now I will finish decorating this and I'll get back to you when it's done. And we're back and we're done. So this is the finished product. I already showed you this at the start of the video, but let's go through it again quickly. So here is the ribbon pull, decorated the piece here, the closure. Open it up. And then here is a tag in the pocket. And there's your great birthday card for a guy. Now why end here, right? So I made another one, this is the second one. I had of course a piece of black cardstock left over from the A4 base that I used for this one. And from the other piece of that A4 cardstock I created this one. So it's sort of the same foundation with the ribbon pull and the magnetic closure. You fold it open as a gatefold construction. And then there are some differences of course, but just to give you an idea, here's a tag and I used some screw-like brads here, and then here congratulations with two other screw brads, two tags, happy birthday and a Dutch congratulations, and then here is a small tag booklet to jot down some personal congratulations message. So just to show you the possibilities, out of one A4 piece of cardstock you can create two of these gorgeous gatefold cards. Okay, I hope you liked this video. Thanks for liking and subscribing and see you next time. Bye.